Hey guys, Marsningen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so there was a data download on JP, which has given us some information about the GT version of the legendary Goku event. So shout out to Truth, he's the first person that I saw tweet this. I don't know if there is another official source, because this is the image here that he's tweeted out, and obviously he has provided the translations for it, because it's a little bit unclear. It looks like one of those sort of Google Translate kind of things where it doesn't quite tell you exactly what it is. But basically what he's saying is there are category missions for the GT Legendary Goku events. Obviously, the original Goku event, they've added missions a couple of times where they want you to complete the event using units all of a specific category. So the categories listed here for the starting set of missions is Reps of Universe 7, Battle of Wits, Power Absorption, Space Traveling Warriors, Connected Hopes, and Mind and Body Erosion, which is Corroded Body and Mind, it's obviously called on global. And then also Great 8 Power is noted down below. So this is important because of course this is coming out on both versions at the same time. So this is going to be coming for global and JP. So obviously I will do a video beating it with each of these teams, but we're going to have a little look here. So Reps of Universe 7, now obviously on JP you have the advantage of having the 6-year LRs. There are obviously the three main ones that you see here that all have a Reps of 7 leader skill, and then of course there's the Frieza and 17, as well as the Roshi. So Reps of Universe 17 is way more stacked on JP. Goku and Frieza have their Easy A, which obviously they don't on global. So for us, we are basically going to be running a Blue Kaioken Goku lead, or, you know, running a sort of sub version of the team, like Realm of Gods of Goku. There's a couple of different ways you can do it to have a full Reps of Universe 7 without using them. But Blue Kaioken Goku, obviously it takes some time to build up. It'll be interesting to see how hard this event is, because the news says that the event is on the difficulty level of Extreme Super Battle Road. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this pans out. And obviously if you don't have the specific category leader for each of these missions, it's going to be a lot more difficult, because it is possible to make up the teams by using other leaders and just putting together units that are all in the specific category. But obviously if you're having to use a lower leader skill, it's going to be a lot more difficult. So Reps of Universe 7 obviously is a very powerful team. LR UI Goku, the LR Blue Boys, obviously we have them available on global. It still remains to be seen whether the GT version of the Legendary Goku event will disable dodge. Because if it doesn't, then obviously LR UI Goku is going to be very, very good. If it does, he's still fairly solid, because by the time you get to the end and dodge gets disabled, his stats have built up. But when it comes to like taking a super attack or something, he's obviously going to take a ton of damage. And then there are some units that are going to be useful and some that are not as useful in other events. Remember, long form events are a whole different kind of animal. Like, for example, Skinny Boo, we used him recently on that Resurrected Warriors No Item Run video. He is not going to be good in this event, because after the 8 turns he loses all that extra attack and defense that he has. So he's not going to be quite as good. So Reps of Universe 7 is one of those teams where there's a lot of really powerful units, but not a lot of crazy defensive units. Like this UI Goku as well, getting his awakening from JP is super, super useful. So this one could be on the tricky side, but obviously it remains to be seen how many stages the event has, what the typings are for each stage, and obviously that is going to weigh into it quite a lot as well. So then we have Battle of Wits. Now obviously, realistically, the only leader is the STR, LR Goku and Vegeta that fuse into Vegito. They are a ridiculous unit, one of the best units in the game. So this one I feel like is not going to be that difficult. This team is super, super good, and obviously has a lot of very powerful options. Units like the good old LR Vegito Blue. Long form events are his specialty, so he's not a unit that necessarily gets used as much nowadays, but long form events, he is absolutely going to crush it. Units like the Int Vegito long form events are of course the place where you're most likely to actually see him fuse into the actual Vegito and give you that free heal. And then of course when it comes to TURs, we've got units like the new Pycon, who is actually very good. He's underrated. Again, if the event doesn't disable dodge, he can be super, super useful. A couple of the units on here are very good. Shout out to our boy J Fanta. If dodge isn't disabled, then obviously Candy Vegito is going to be useful. Tech Trunks, you know, the original legendary Goku event Destroyer. He came out around the same time as the original event coming out on JP. He infinitely stacks and builds up very quickly to become insanely powerful. So there's a lot of good units on this team. Shout out to our boy Super Saiyan 4 Vegito as well. Physical Vegito Blue. Like a lot of very powerful units on Battle of Wits. And then Power Absorption. I guess it makes sense to have this one as well, because obviously this is the Bootanks category, whereas Battle of Wits is the Vegito category. This team is just insane. Obviously, not all of the Margin units are on here, but a lot of them are. So it's actually very easy to make a very strong team that is pretty much just all the Margin Power and Power Absorption units. There are some solid units on here for the long term, like Super 17. We all know he builds up very well. Super 17 and 13 together are one of my favourite rotations on Power Absorption. So that's going to be a very fun team. And then obviously we can have the LR Boo tanks with either like STR Super Boo or any of the other Boos on main rotation. The LR Cell is on here as well, that can be useful for the free heal. So yeah, I don't think Power Absorption is going to be too difficult, obviously, as long as you have the Boo tanks. Space Traveling Warriors, this is a very, very good team, very powerful. Obviously, if you have the Bojack, look at all these LRs. I mean, this is the team where you can run the rotations of like LR Jiren and Topo, and then like the LR Turles and Turles. First Form Freezer's on here. B-Pan, like a lot of units that have a lot of really good utility are on this team. And then just by looking at like the Extreme STR version of this team, we have like the Cooler is on here. And then for super types, like again, if Dodge isn't disabled, Whis is super good. The old school Jiren is on here, and obviously God Topo. Beerus, like there's a lot of really good units on here as well. I think one of the really big things that we have to wait and see when that gets confirmed is whether or not the event disables Dodge at any point, because that really is going to change things up quite a bit. And so Connected Hopes, obviously this is Pycon's category. There is no other leader for this, so if you haven't pulled Pycon, you have to kind of make some slapdash version of the team. This is what I was saying about like other categories, right? So I don't know if is there enough Super Saiyans? Like technically you could use this Goku and make a full Super Saiyans team, but you'd have to bring units that are not really optimal, so I don't know how easy that run would be. This Goku is obviously an all types lead, so you could bring him and a Pycon friend. It's going to be tough because the Goku's leader skill is nowhere near as good, but there are ways to work around it. But I do think this one, it definitely is going to be one of the tough ones if you don't have Pycon. If you do have Pycon, this team can obviously be very good. The LR Gogeta's on here, so again, these long form events, you're going to be able to see him transform. This Vegeta is super good, and obviously there are like Gokus that you can have around to max out his abilities. In Gotenks, really good in Super Battle Road, like the short form events, but actually in long form events, once you can see him go up to Super Saiyan 3, he is very powerful. So this category has a lot of solid options as well. Then we have Corroded Body and Mind, obviously the Janemba category. I've got PTSD from looking at Janemba after all those extreme techno item run attempts, so thank God that's finally over. But yeah, this one's going to be interesting because there's a lot of units on this team that maybe not so good suited for long run events, but our boy Marseille, now that he's got his Easy A and actually infinitely stacks, he's going to be one of the MVPs for this event, I think, so we're definitely going to be bringing him. The Tech Vegeta, who transforms into Margin Vegeta, is actually really good. I would say the rotation of them together could be pretty good, but once he transforms into Margin Vegeta, he obviously has Over in a Flash as his main key link. But STR Margin Vegeta post Easy A is really good as well, so they could function as a rotation. Obviously, the other Janembas are on here that are both really good after Easy A. So we have some solid units, but I feel like this one is going to be a bit tricky. LR Baby is good, LR Rose is great, the LR Metal Cooler Core is fairly decent. The other two, unfortunately, not so much. I guess the LR Zamasu Goku, like as long as you can get some finishing blows with him in the earlier stages, he could be okay, but he isn't the best. And then of course finally we have Great 8 Power. This one is going to be fun as hell because obviously I love this team. I full link level 10'd all of the Heroes Super Saiyan 4s and the LR Super Saiyan 4s, and of course we do have the Easy A's for the OG 120 lead Super Saiyan 4s coming up as well. So this team is going to be crazy. Obviously, the other thing to remember as well, the new GT, Goku, and Vegeta are on this team as well. So I feel like this is going to be one of the easiest ones. Obviously, if you don't have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and you didn't summon on Heroes, it's going to be quite difficult to run this team. Although technically, I guess you can run like the GT Heroes / family build as long as you can bring like enough of the units that are on the I guess Goku family is probably going to be the most common one, looking at all the units that are on here, because obviously you can bring this Gohan, you can bring the LR Super Saiyan 4. You don't really want to be bringing units like Great Ape Bardock, I would imagine, but if you have to fill out the team, maybe it could work. But I mean, if the event really is as difficult as Extreme Super Battle Road, then I'm not really too sure. But there you go. Those are the special missions that we know of to start with for the GT Legendary Goku event. And once we know more, I will try and get more details posted. And of course, like I said, I will be putting out videos on each of these clears. And so, yeah, very much looking forward to the event dropping. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. How many of these missions do you think are going to be easy for you to do? Are there any that you're going to struggle with? And let us know your ideas for teams down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.